I look at this as a game of iterations and staying one step ahead. And I know that's how like your thought process would be. I'm curious when everybody starts doing this and that page changes, what do you think the next thing is going to be when everyone's doing these four that you're going to be like, hey, I'm going back to the original? Or is it the next iteration of changes that you're now making to all the listings that you're involved in to help those people stay 10 steps ahead?
It's always evolving and always changing, right? So I'll give you one good one that no one's doing right now. That's, you know, by the time this comes out, maybe everyone's going to be doing it. But if you're selling a 2-pack of supplements, right? Some folks will have just the 2 bottles right next to each other and doing everything that I talked about. But then there's 1 or 2 brands that are out there that are taking advantage of the pixels, and they're creating what I call mega label. And they're making one giant post-edit label to cover the 2 bottles and really tripling down on the real estate and really having that breathing room and elbow room to say very clearly and standing out from the guys that just have 2 individual bottles. They're doing what I call mega label and putting it right across the middle. There's always going to be something. So in a post John Aspinall world where everyone is doing this kind of stuff, right? Will I go back to saying, hey, just put a plain image and stuff like that? No. I'll say, cool, everyone else is showing flavor, this, that. Well, what if we did this? And what if we did that? There's always room to change something, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at the supplement space, I keep on talking about supplements because these are the folks that are taking this and running with it because supplement click-through, CPC is very, very high.
Yeah.
Sometimes, $20, $30. It's very expensive to do that kind of stuff. So they have to find these tactical ways, but I'm still finding other brands like that are in the textile space, pillows, sheets, they're not doing any of this kind of stuff. You'll find big companies that have agencies that have 10,000 SKUs, 10,000 ASINs,
Yeah.
that they just don't have the time, right, to focus on this kind of stuff.
That's where we find ourselves sometimes with 800 SKUs that we have on Amazon. That's across like 14 different brands, and it's all up and down the spectrum. I want to give you a chance to ask some questions pointedly to John, but before I hand it over, I just want to make the observation that we talk about the supplement space a lot and people who are making moves in CTR and supplements. I talk with a lot of beginners who are launching products for the first time on Twitter and on LinkedIn. And I'm starting to notice a trend amongst the beginners that they're very into the science and the hacks. And one of the things that they many times lack is a really good quality product and a good brand, but they're into like everything else that's like PhD level Amazon and how to sell on e-commerce, where these are the guys I think that are following your content and they're like taking copious notes about click-through rate. Okay, I got to have that in the label and do this and then make sure the packaging and the contents and the flavor. They're doing all of that, but they're a single product company and they have one and they've done everything else the easy way. And it's like, okay, maybe the actual telltale sign of a beginner is doing all of the advanced stuff without having the fundamentals taken care of first. And this stuff really only works if you have the fundamentals taken care of, if you have a good product that people want to come back and buy again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a hack. Like you tricked somebody into buying that. And one of the things that like, amazes me about what you do is that like, you're getting behind like the human psyche and understanding like what's going to make them take an extra action here. It's like the psychology of the sale, which is like super special. And sometimes I think that the people who need that the most, the actual brands, are like, hey, John, we have good products. Like, we don't need to do all the little hacks like that. But that's who needs to be doing it.
Yeah.
And then it's the people who really don't need to be doing it, who don't have the great product, who are like, John, like, what else should I do next? Like, I want to try the next hack.
Well, that's a good preface because like everything I talk about, if your product sucks, your product sucks. Like there's no, like there's no, so long are the days or farewell to the days of the Me Too commoditized products, right? Like you cannot just take something from Alibaba. I mean, you can, but are you looking to scale and just slap a logo on it and then just go out there? Because China Direct is a real thing. China Direct is selling right on Amazon every single day in a lot of these categories that I talk about. So I think you have to look internally before you want to launch on Amazon and say, what's the problem I'm going to solve?